90-Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After. Star Angela Deem's suspicions about Michael Ilesanmi having been a scammer all along have seemingly proved to be true after her shocking discovery in episode 13 of season 8. Angela started dating Michael over 8 years ago after the Nigerian man approached her on Facebook. Angela was lured in by the prospect of dating a young 30-year-old man when she was way beyond 50. She flew to Nigeria despite some initial hesitation to get engaged to Michael. The fact that Michael cheated on her with a local woman did not stop Angela. However, Michael is now out of Angela's life in 2024. Michael went missing just 2 months after Angela brought him to America. He's still living in the U.S. and Angela is trying to get him deported. After the events of the latest Happily Ever After episode unfolded, it appears Michael may have planned his disappearance all along. Michael and Angela will reconcile after the fight, but the shocking reveal does shed light on why and how Michael left Angela once he came to the U.S. and is now living a life in paradise away from her. Angela found out that Michael had moved his visa interview and not the embassy. Angela declared she was done with Michael, but he seemed to be sure about what he was doing. Angela was furious with Michael for having lied to her all over again, especially since his last 2 visa applications had failed. Angela wondered if Michael moving his visa interview would make the embassy suspicious about his intentions. Meanwhile, Angela's daughter Skyla Deem suggested that Michael could have been wanting to move to the U.S. without Angela. She was certain that her stepdad was a scammer. Angela grabbed Michael's phone on episode 13 while they were at an Ivory Coast restaurant. Angela knew something wasn't adding up because Michael told her to go back to the U.S. while he stayed in Ivory Coast to gear a decision on the visa, which was going to take 2 weeks. Michael insisted he said 1 or 2 weeks because that's what he'd seen on some visa journey groups online. He claimed he was studying from other people's interviews. Angela asked to check his phone so she could see what visa groups he was on. Angela found a thread of messages on his phone titled 30 Contribution Park 3, which had messages with Michael's name and check mark emojis next to it. Michael claimed it was called a piggy contribution, where he was keeping money aside for a rainy day. Angela asked Michael if there was a bank involved, but he said he had a collector who was keeping his money safe for emergency expenses. Michael said a piggy bank was like a savings and very common in Nigeria, where many people do it. Angela figured Michael was saving money in case she kicked him out in America. He claimed he couldn't use the money in America. Angela said Michael didn't have any business opening a secret account behind her back, as she was his wife. She proceeded to scroll through the visa group Michael was on. Angela saw that Michael was the group administrator of the Paradise Men WhatsApp group. Angela wondered if it was a group of men who were scamming women in the U.S. for a men's paradise for visas. Michael said he was helping people when people were bringing information about getting U.S. visas together. An upset Angela threw her drink in Michael's face. Michael assured Angela there was nothing to worry about. However, Angela was now certain that there was some scamming going on because Michael had been secretly depositing money into a piggy bank account. Angela decided she was going to contact her immigration lawyer to find out if she should stay with Michael. If the lawyer said no, Angela was ready to leave Michael that very night. Meanwhile, Michael complained to the cameras that Angela was not giving him a chance to explain himself. Michael said the reason the group was called Paradise Men was because they were going to the U.S., which was the land of free to them. You know, like the U.S. is a paradise, he explained. Angela took Michael's phone and told him he wasn't getting it back. Angela left the restaurant alone, and while she was on her way to the hotel in her cab, Angela went through the Paradise Men group with a fine-toothed calm. She couldn't believe she hadn't been able to figure Michael out after 7 years. She was tired of being deceived by him over and over again. However, nothing had prepared Angela for what was coming next. Angela found a message in the group containing a picture of an elderly woman that said, "She day look for husband." The other men in the group were laughing about the message. Angela saw there were over 200 people in the chat. Angela found more photos of Nigerian men with their American partners in the group. She deduced that Michael had connected with Nigerian men who were with American women. She told the cameras that the group was about Nigerian men getting visas to the U.S. using older women. She said it was a scam chat. Angela also found a photo of a paper package wrapped in plastic and said that it was a picture of a bunch of money. Angela declared that it was the money Michael had charged the men in the group. Meanwhile, there was a screenshot in the group, which was a Google search result for what is life insurance and how do you use it. Angela asked the producers if Michael was trying to kill her. An audio clip sent by Michael to an unknown person had him saying he had uploaded a tax return of Angela. This is when Angela grew severely distressed. She panicked because Michael was involved in his personal business. Since Michael had given a random person her tax returns, Angela decided she needed to find someone who could tell her if she was being delusional. A preview for the next episode of 90 Day Fiancé. Happily Ever After. Season 8 shows Michael and Angela coming face to face, and her telling him she called an immigration lawyer. Angela planned on reporting Michael to the federal government. Angela said she'd had enough, and while she was talking, Michael snatched his phone off the table. "This is my phone," he said as an unknown man tried to wrestle it out of his hands. However, Angela was shown screaming, "No, it's mine," at Michael, knowing she was not going to get the phone back from him.